So Demon Apostle Rosine flies Jill over the forest and tells her that she should become an elf like her. We know Rosine isn't actually an elf, but she believes herself to be. She's in a permanent state of childhood wonder, kind of a more deadly version of Peter Pan. Stay away from adults, stay a child forever, have fun and never grow up. In some ways it sounds beautiful, but Guts does not see it this way because he's seen what it takes to become these ageless things. He's seen the sacrifices it takes and been a part of that whole ordeal. He's the adult who's seen the truth of the world as opposed to Rosine, who closed her mind off to the true ending of the Peikoff story and just sees what she wants to see. And Guts is indeed following them on foot. He comes across a mass of human bodies, and coming out of them are walking, talking bodies of the same bandits that had captured Jill previously when they first met. But now they've been corrupted by Rosine into something else. They transform into bug-like creatures. And this harkens back once more to the Black Swordsman arc, when Guts was going up against the Count. The Count infected a character called Zondark, who I still think is a stupid character and I hate him. Zondark. But now we see that wasn't just something the Count could do. With Rosine corrupting people as well, we understand that all apostles have the ability to create these underlings to serve them. And Rosine is using hers to guard her Misty Valley and kill anyone who wants to enter and stop it from being her little fake elf island paradise. But this isn't Guts' first rodeo. He starts to hack his way through them like it's a regular business, until one of them turns into a beetle-like creature, and this one actually manages to pin Guts against a tree. Guts has to stab his sword through, use his arrows, and then slam the beetle into the ground before slashing another one above him. Then Guts looks to see it's not just the bandits. There are dozens of them, and Guts vows to beat down and kill every single one. We then get some strange pages of Puck complaining about Guts and drawn in a very cartoonish style as opposed to Miura's usual. There's even a note in the pages of the manga that says following him alone would be a very different manga. And it's a very odd fourth wall break, and I'm not particularly a fan of fourth wall breaks, especially in a story like this. But if any character is going to do it, I guess I'll allow it to be Puck. Also, let's pull back because this page spread is just ridiculous. If you didn't know any better, you wouldn't even think this is the same manga. Same manga, same artist, same story, all in context. It's just crazy. So back in Jill's village, they are burying the bodies of the children that have been turned back into themselves after being killed by Guts. The Holy Iron Chain Knights roll into town and ask to speak with the town's clergyman. The leader of the religious knights is a girl named Farnice. And it's not a good time yet to go into their religion and what they stand for just yet. I'll get there. But for now, we learn a little bit of what they're doing here. Apparently, they've been following events and eyewitness reports of strange supernatural things happening over the past couple of years. Miracle recognition is what they call it. Or maybe more accurately, things that threaten their religion. And with each story they've been following, there has been one constant theme: the Black Swordsman. He's been present in all these events, so they believe he is either the cause or somehow connected to it all. The clergyman states that the Black Swordsman has been here as well, and is currently traveling to the Misty Valley where none of the townspeople dare to go. Except Jill's father. He steps up with the intent to lead the Holy Iron Chain Knights there, certainly to try to relive potential bravery of his glory days. But with that, the Holy Iron Chain Knights begin their pursuit. While Guts is battling both a giant beetle and a praying mantis creature, I love Berserk, both of which explain that they used to be knights, so that they're tougher than the rest. Guts realizes he can't only attack one because the other will sneak in, so in typical badass Guts fashion, he uses his arm cannon to fire at one, and uses the momentum of that blast to spin himself and cut the other one. He's a fucking goat! Afterwards, Guts is exhausted and bleeding bad, but he finds a bit of elf dust inside his bag. Puck had left it there for him, fully aware that, yeah, he would need it. Also goes to show that maybe Guts should be relying on others a little bit. Meanwhile, Puck makes it to the Misty Valley, a large, peaceful-looking place, drawn once again incredibly by Miura. Puck sees a group of the fake elves all laughing and playing with a tiny ball. It looks like fun, so Puck tries to join in. They see he looks different, but hand him the ball anyways, which is actually an eyeball. And then we get hands down the best drawing in all of Berserk. Yep, this is it. Right here. This is peak Miura. The art style will never get better than this. Rosine returns to this spot as well with Jill. She explains how this place has magical properties and everything stays in bloom, and that there is never winter. On top of that, Puck's empathic abilities give him a flash of actual elves in his mind, perhaps indicating that once upon a time, elves did inhabit this place. And maybe their energy still lingers, and that's why it stays beautiful year-round. Rosine asks if she'll become one of them, and Jill responds she isn't sure just yet. So Rosine leaves, giving her some time to think on it. But she reflects that there's nothing fun in the village like flying in the sky. Nothing like childhood imagination. Would you stay forever a child if you could? Puck comes to her side and she reflects to him that she's scared to grow up like either of her parents. Afraid to become docile like her mother or abusive like her father. Seeing what horrible things people do when they become adults, she thinks maybe that this is just a small price to pay to stay young and happy forever. Puck reminds her that the fake elves eat humans, and Jill remarks, well, so do wolves. Maybe that's just something that they have to do. I mean, this is true to an extent. Animals do eat other animals, and it's all just kind of in the same cycle of life. So, if you're a higher being that had to eat humans to survive, is it much different than a lion eating a gazelle? They then see the fake elves all playing with each other and gearing up for what looks like a play battle. But when they go to fight, the fake elves are actually stabbing and killing each other and having fun with it. One jumps on the back of another exclaiming, "Adult attack!" and starts to rape the other one. So let's pull back and think about how extremely fucked up this is. These are actually children who have been turned into little monsters who are playing and mimicking what they see adults as, and in doing so they are killing and raping each other. Because that's what adults do. Childhood and innocence can only be corrupted by adults, and this is one of the brutal truths Miura puts into his manga that is timelessly true, Middle Ages to present day, and it's a horrifying thing. And just as before, when the little fake elves die, they turn back into lifeless human child bodies. Jill runs, terrified, and the creatures begin to chase her, claiming she's going to deny their gift. Jill and Puck run into an area where dozens upon dozens of cocoons hang above them. Leaking and wet, they are filled with human children who are being turned into these tiny monsters. Rosine appears again and states that they were just playing like humans play. Killing each other is just what humans do. But as one of her elves, she'll just find it fun, and if they die, it's okay because she will always make more. She begins to comfort Jill and starts to wrap her up in a cocoon of her own. Puck jumps in and tries to stop this, and upon trying to attack Puck, Rosine opens one of the cocoons, and an unfinished mess of child body falls onto the ground. Jill screams in horror, understandably so, and then in the distance, cocoons start to catch on fire. Guts has arrived, with a torch in hand. He slashes his way through a wave of the little elves, and Jill sees in his eyes that in this moment, his rage makes him look just like the monsters he is trying to kill. Meanwhile, the Holy Iron Chain Knights are on their way through the Misty Valley, and they stumble upon the dead bodies of all the creatures Guts killed on the way. Now, of course, turned back into humans upon their death, so it looks like Guts was just hacking his way through ordinary people. Azan, the largest member of the group, suggests multiple people must have been involved in this massacre. But the smaller, more stoic member named Serpico inspects the bodies and believes otherwise, that it was done by one man. Farnese then declares in the name of her faith that she will capture the Black Swordsman, who she also calls the Hawk of Darkness. No idea who she could be mistaking him for now. All the ones he kills turn back into lifeless child bodies, but Guts cuts out his ability to care and trudges through them. His desire to kill Rosine pushes him, all because she is an apostle, and I'm assuming she was probably at the Eclipse event as well. We know that she appeared a bit earlier and attacked Rickart's group before the eclipse, but I tried to look through the volumes where the eclipse takes place, and I didn't see any specific drawings of her. But regardless, even if she was there or not, her mere existence is all Guts needs to want to kill her. But then, as the fire engulfs Guts, and it looks as though he'll be burned up, he stabs into one of the cocoons above him, and lets the liquid inside douse the flames. Not only that, but the child inside falls out, gutted, his body in pieces, and his intestines or whatever fall on Guts' head and into his mouth, and Guts just bites fucking through it and lets the tiny corpse fall on the ground. This is our protagonist, everyone. Rosine tries to attack Guts, but because of the flames, it's too difficult for her. It appears apostles are damaged by fire, and this has been seen before with the Snake Baron and the very first apostle we see in the manga. So as Rosine sees all the cocoons and her minions burn up, she declares that she doesn't care and can just make more. All she wants to do now is have Jill alive and Guts dead. So she transforms into her full demon form, a giant moth-like creature with a huge stinger coming out of her forehead. And she rushes to Guts for the final fight. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like this video, comment, subscribe if you want to. I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching these, and we'll finish up this little Lost Children section in the next video.